Hello again, my people. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You, movies of the 1980s. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show, and sitting in with me this week is none other than Mr. Travis Rollins, aka Girth Brooks, it looks like.
What's up?
You tell me. I mean, what have you been up to this week?
Everything, man. Passed the kidney stone. Went
Who'd
to
you
the
pass it
lake.
to?
Dude named Bob.
Bet Bob appreciates that.
Mm-hmm. Went to the lake. Cut the grass. Washed all the vehicles. Went to a book outlet that's only open the last weekend of every month. Really cool. I'm talking about a warehouse. They took an old textile mill around here, and then just turned it into a big old bookstore. I mean, it's thousands upon thousands, millions even of books. And there's something else.
I'll tell you what you didn't do. You didn't wash my car.
I didn't.
You
Too far
didn't.
away.
I mean,
I didn't have time to make it.
that's why we got to get you down here so you can be the washer of cars.
I know, man. I barely got my stuff together to do the podcast tonight.
Man, well, we got to get you. Well, we got to get you in for podcast. It's important this week because we need all your input for
buddy.
the
What'd you do
shows
this
that we're
weekend?
doing. I went and I didn't do a whole lot. Of course, I work half the weekend. I work every Saturday, so nothing spectacular there. Sunday, which is today, as we are recording, I went and watched my niece play in her travel soccer. They had a pretty good game. It's like a youth soccer, so they're still learning.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to yell good things for them, and you want to yell bad things at them.
Yep.
Because you're like, throw the ball down the line.
Yeah, as a soccer dad, I fully understand. It's like, play your position, quit crowding up, quit kicking it in the middle of nowhere, pass it to somebody, like follow the ball down.
Quit playing kickball.
Yeah, they just kick it as hard as they can. It's like,
get in front of somebody on the other team. Pass the ball.
No, I like it.
Stop watching the game and play the game.
That's cool. You went and supported your niece, though.
But yeah, next Sunday it'll be my nephew's travel soccer team going to be here playing. They've been going to different towns. They've been traveling as far as 4 hours.
Yeah,
to go play in these little mini tournaments. So it's a learning experience, and she seems to like soccer a lot. So the more she learns, the more she'll want to play, the better she'll get. Hopefully, she continues playing it and finds it something she likes in school too. So
rock and roll.
Definitely had some fun with that. So this week we are going to make a little bit of a change in what we're doing. The next couple episodes is going to be a little bit out of the norm, and the first one we're doing today, we are doing the top 10. We haven't done a top 10 in a while, but this is the top 10 per IMDB. That's Internet Movie Database. Most popular movies from 1987.
And I gotta wonder, are they going off of based off of like right now or originally? Because like
I don't know exactly what it's based off of. Honestly, I was running it by a friend of mine earlier. This is by popularity. And I said maybe it's ticket sales, but then again, that would be the one that made the most money throughout the year, right? So it's got to be a combination.
You can go to US box office, and that looks even stranger.
Well, it's got to be a combination of things that IMDb puts together that they come up with the most popular at that point. It's got to be ticket sales. I mean, maybe stuff after it hit, from theater to being sold in stores and such.
Right.
Popularity by different polls and things that might have been taken. I have no idea. Maybe it's scores based on places too. Like some of these movies they get their Metascore listed here. Maybe they go by Metascore, Rotten Tomatoes, Siskel and Ebert's, and different things like that. Maybe they incorporate some of that too.
Could be.
Not quite sure, but this is IMDb's top 10 of 1987, and we're going to start from 10 and work our way down to their number one for that year. And 1987 was a year of a lot of movies. I'm not going to tell you anything in the top 10 right now, but let me give you guys a few examples.
So many great movies.
Right. But let me give you a few examples of past the top 10. So these won't be included in what we're talking about here soon. But
One of
Fatal,
them you won't even believe
I
is
know,
not in the top 10.
quite a few of them, honestly.
Yeah.
But you got the sale, so the Untouchables, Fatal Attraction, Adventures in Babysitting, Hellraiser. Um, hang on a second.
Moonstruck.
Hold on a
Lethal
second.
Weapon's the one that blows my mind. It's not in the top 10.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold up. Hold up.
Oh, what are you doing? What's going on?
This is a different list than came out was out last week. I wonder if they changed these things. This is the same site, different list than what I got listed on here that I've written down to prepare for. Is this not crazy?
That's a
Because
little weird.
Moonstruck was in there. And I'm looking at Moonstruck at number 16.
Yeah. And if you go to US box office, dude, if you flip the tab over to US box office, you would be absolutely amazed. Like, what is going on here?
You know what? We're just going to go with what we see here on this list. I'm going to be happy with it and just run with it because it's before it changes on me again. Anyway, some of the other ones I said leave out of the list: Lethal Weapon, Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, Mannequin, Some Kind of Wonderful, uh, Good Morning Vietnam, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Man, Travis, I mean, was there anything that stood out to you not in the top 10 that you just couldn't believe?
Yeah. Lethal Weapon number 1
Yeah.
kind of blew my mind. Well, and see, I will say, when you look this up, you got a different list everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking on the numbers right now, and I've got the top grossing movies of 1987 in order, and this is more this makes much more sense. But yeah, I would think out of those, like, is Beverly Hills Cop in that top 10? Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Beverly Hills Cop 2, yes.
Okay, how about Platoon?
No.
See, Platoon was the third top grossing movie of 1987. I can't see how that could not be one of the most popular.
Well, I mean, top grossing, but I mean, there are other movies
I
that
know.
people like. There's the way I explained to one of my friends earlier, like for example,
I mean,
Moonstruck was in the one before, right? And I
yeah,
told him, I said, you know, had to be a lot of people that like that kind of movie, even if Moonstruck wasn't. I don't know if it's a top 10 sales or not, but you know, quite a few different people like that kind of flick, I guess. And they said, hey, I liked it. It might not have made as much money. I couldn't go to the theater and watch it, but I
right,
loved it, and I watched it once it reached the home level. You know,
right.
whether it be on cable or whether it be on
Now
VHS
see,
rental.
Chris. Let me interrupt you. I just went to the top 50 movies in 1987, and I sorted them by popularity, and it's a different list than what you sent me.
Really,
It is
what does it say for the number 2?
the number 2.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. I'm
I've been
sorry. We
saying
don't
you
want to
want
do.
to do the number 2.
We don't want
I
to give it
cannot
away.
tell you what the
What
number
is
2
it? I
movie
tell you what.
was.
We're gonna start with number 10. What does it say for number 10?
Okay, we'll do both lists then.
What does your list say for 10 though?
My list for number 10 is The Untouchables.
There you go. See, it's definitely different than the one that I got here now. This is disturbing. IMDb, you are a disappointment to us this week.
I know, like IMDb is the law too. Like, what's going on?
How are you going to change from week to week? Two different people looking up. See, this isn't the top 50. This is straight from IMDb's website that I'm looking at. And
So
it's movies. This is movies with a release date from January 1st, 1987 to December 31st, 1987. That's the
Okay.
search. That's in the search filter.
Okay, mine was only updated in 2019.
Yeah, I don't know when this was the last update or anything. It's not saying on here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm right back to that same one. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, people, we don't know what the heck kind of list we reading. Let me get
let's
this back
go with the one that I
populated.
say that. Hey, let's go with the one I sent you the link for earlier. I guess.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's
Come
do
on,
that.
Christopher. We're going to do this. We're going to do this list, Christopher. The
All
number
right,
2 is the same number 2.
just to make sure, your number 10 is Spaceballs, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's start with number 10. All right, Mel Brooks, Spaceballs. What's not to like about a
Yeah.
Mel Brooks movie, you know?
I'm surrounded by assholes. Wait a minute. Wrong movie.
I, lo- I love it when they're in the desert looking for the droids that got away, and
Right?
he tells them to comb the desert.
Comb the desert.
They're out there with giant combs going through the desert.
I'm completely okay with this being the number 10 in this list, no matter which list it's going to be.
I tell you, and I'm not going to get over this the rest of the show. I'm really not. I hate you, IMDb. Um, but I do love Spaceballs. It's a funny movie.
Well, in the other list that I had looked up, they got Spaceballs at number 9. So, like I said, Spaceballs of 1987. If I look through all 1,000 movies that was made in 1987, I'm putting Spaceballs in the top 10 probably.
Well, 10 it is. We're going to number 9. Number 9, Beverly Hills Cop 2. We can talk a little bit more about this one because, I mean, who doesn't love Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop? Until
Right?
you get to 3, then it was awful. They should
Yeah.
have stopped at 2. And I know they're making another one,
But 3
but
was
3 was okay. It just wasn't great.
well,
And Netflix has another one that's going to come out. I believe
they
it's
can't do it
Netflix.
all the time. How did you feel about the remake of Coming to America or the sequel?
I didn't watch it.
A lot of people hated on it, man. I kind of liked it. I thought it was
I
funny.
I haven't watched it, and honestly, I didn't know that I wanted to.
Yeah.
And there'll be a day where I'll sit down and watch it. There will be. It's
Right.
just not right now. It's
Gotcha.
not standing out to me that I want to watch it right now or anything.
I got you. I got you. How
Um,
about how overlooked Judge Reinhold is as a support character?
and I really love his character too. I do. In Beverly Hills Cop,
Yeah.
Rosewood. He's a great character, and his character really comes out in the second movie as
Right.
something really fun and interesting.
For sure.
One of my
I
favorite
like Judge
parts
though.
in the movie is when they're going to get the people at the oil field, and Rosewood opens his trunk up and throws on this long trench coat and loads up on these weapons. And Taggart's looked at him, going, "Who are you, Rambo?" He says, "You can
Yeah.
never have enough firepower, Sarge." He goes, "Man, we're really gonna have to talk about this when this is over."
You know who I love him as?
Who's that?
I love him as Neil in the Santa Claus movies.
The Santa Claus movies?
Yeah, the Escape Clause, the last one that they made,
Yeah.
like playing Neil, like he was great as Neil. Who was like a psychiatrist or psychologist or something.
Mhm.
I was wanting him to explore his feelings and stuff. Man, he was so good.
First thing I remember seeing him in, I remember was, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, for sure.
That
Yeah,
was the first
I'd
thing I
make
remember
her
seeing
see
him
God.
in. Did you ever watch the movie with him and, Fred Savage did the Freaky Friday bit?
Oh yeah,
I can't remember what it's called now, but they reversed father and son.
yeah. I just saw Fred Savage on a. I don't know if anybody out there enjoyed Roseanne, uh, the remake, The Connors. I don't like how political it gets sometimes, but other than that, dude, The Connors is fantastic. And Fred Savage comes in and plays Darlene's damn therapist for a few episodes. It's pretty funny. I was like,
I couldn't
dude, that's daggum Kevin.
I couldn't get into the Connors because it was missing the main thing.
Is
The
missing
thing that
Roseanne.
I get it. It's to play off Roseanne. It's not called Roseanne now. It's the Connors.
Well, yeah, well, Roseanne died of cancer in it too, or drug mix up, her pain pip medication or something.
But I would prefer that she'd been on the show. And
I don't
like
know.
you said, like you
I
said,
think it's
with due to political reasons, she wasn't on the show.
absolutely, yeah. That's the whole reason
Um,
she wasn't on it.
and because she started out on the show, didn't they have a few episodes with her already on it to begin
Maybe the
with?
pilot.
I was thinking
The ones that
at
are on
least
Netflix, no, none of them have her on it.
I was thinking she was at least on 1, maybe 2 or something, or maybe they were in the process of releasing it and it happened, and they had to go back and redo some things without her. I don't remember exactly how it went, but
I don't know, but I don't miss her. I love Roseanne. Don't get me wrong. Like I like Roseanne Barr. She's cool, but at the same time, like I don't miss her on the show.
to me, it's impossible having the show without her or
Yeah,
without John Goodman, either one. Like,
I
when
can
they did that
respect that.
season when they did that season where it was like a dream sequence.
Oh yeah, I
And
hated that one.
yeah, it just do anything.
John Goodman's awesome in this one though, dude. John Goodman can do anything. I'll watch anything that's got him in it.
Yeah, he is good.
But that wasn't the 80s.
It was what actually Roseanne was in the 80s, wasn't it? Late
The Connors
80s.
is not, but the Connors ain't.
The Connors are not. No, you know what was in the 80s?
What?
Number 8, RoboCop.
RoboCop.
RoboCop, the 8th most popular film according to this in IMDb of 1987. And
I think
for some
RoboCop should
people,
be 5.
I'll say for some people it would be higher.
Yeah, for me it totally would.
Yeah.
RoboCop is one of those that, like, you know, okay, like Spaceballs. Now everybody that's a Mel Brooks fan, like Spaceballs is certainly hilarious. It's giving some zingers and stuff like that. Beverly Hills Cop 2 is just riding off of Beverly Hills Cop. RoboCop actually like came out and just, I ain't gonna say defined an era, but I mean RoboCop came out and was just mind blowing when it happened. You know, kids today even know who RoboCop is. Like, you know what I mean? My oldest son was a RoboCop nut. They did the remake movie of RoboCop, which was great, I thought.
I was about to ask you what you thought of the remake.
I loved it, to be honest with you. Yeah, like RoboCop for me has got to be number 5.
Would you call RoboCop more of a cyborg? As far as what they made him out to be,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
He's
Because Cyborg is, yeah,
part human, part machine. So
yeah, certainly,
yeah.
Yeah.
How far off do you think in the real world are we from a RoboCop?
I think we could come pretty daggum close right now.
It's a loaded question, but with all the different technologies we have and everything and things that they can do, the question is not how close we to having one. I guess would be more or less how close are they to allowing that kind of thing to be tried? Because I don't think that would ever be allowed to be tried, basically because of putting this.
Yeah, we're decades away from something like that, I think. Especially because it seems like we're regressing.
Well, they don't want people to participate in the, like, trying to clone a person. I can't see them wanting them to take a person who might be dying and
that's like stem cells,
mechanical parts.
Stem cell stuff in the US at least is still, you know, that, and it seems like society, at least in America for the most part, in the United States for the most part, is regressing anyway. So
it's because we could have an entire show based on that. This country has been dumbed down to nothing almost for the last 20, 30 years. It seems like a little bit each year.
To watch. It's called Idiocracy. Go watch it.
Yeah.
And did you know that Crocs were actually invented for that movie?
Really?
I swear to you. Crocs, they said they wanted the dumbest looking shoe that they could find. And it's like, nobody will wear these in a million years. And she took like a prison shoe and a sandal and put them together, and they're Crocs. And Crocs, everybody knows Crocs.
Dumbest looking shoe ever, but people wore them. Like, people still wear them today.
Terry Crews was the president, and they were basically watering all the crops with Gatorade. And wondering why they couldn't grow nothing. Or an energy drink or something. I forgot what it was. If you haven't seen Idiocracy, go watch it. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's hilarious too. It's got Maya Rudolph in it as one of the main characters.
She's funny.
Maya Rudolph and Luke Wilson and Terry Crews, and there's people scattered throughout it. But it's like where we're headed.
Like I said, it's a whole nother podcast, a whole nother day, and we could go longer than an hour on 100%. Something like that.
What else did Peter Weller do, though? Just real quick.
Peter Weller, I remember he was in Shakedown, I believe. Along with
he was Buckaroo Banzai. Like that's where he started, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know if it was Buckaroo Banzai or not. Was it? Are you looking at him right now, or?
I just pulled him up. I remember him from Buckaroo Banzai.
Okay, was he in Shakedown with Sam Elliott?
How about around what time? I'm not seeing it at the
80s,
moment.
late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
After RoboCop, it was a year later.
That's the RoboCop and Shakedown, the two main things that stand out in my mind when I think of him.
Oh, yeah. I knew he was in a scary movie. It was Screamers.
Screamers.
Remember that?
I don't know that I've seen that one.
That's a pretty good one. Well, you're not big on scary movies either, so I'll forgive you.
Well, I mean, not a lot of them, no. Speaking of what's supposed to be a scary movie, I mean, usually movies with vampires are scary movies, right?
Well, this one is
Usually.
considered a scary movie, though. It's in
Were
the
you
horror
scared?
section.
Were you
If you went,
scared watching it?
no, I wanted to be in it.
See, I haven't seen it yet. I have to watch it.
What?
We had this discussion last week.
I'd have smoked my whole house up.
You knew I hadn't seen it yet. I had to watch it. I still want to
I just
watch
smoked
it.
my entire house up. Oh my god, that's almost as bad as the day I banged on the side of the wall.
I want to watch it, and this is The Lost Boys.
Oh, bro,
This was number 7. This
bro,
was
you
number
have to watch
7
it.
on this list we're looking at. The
Yeah,
Lost Boys.
yeah, deservedly so.
The
Like,
more I read about the little bits of it, the more I want to watch it.
oh, dude, it's so good.
I mean, the
Yeah, if
little
I was to
thing I
make a
had.
top 5 vampire movies of all time, if I was to make a top 5, this would be in it somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this liable to be in a top 3, maybe.
I
Like,
was
this movie is
looking
great. It makes
for
you want
just
to be one of them. You might want to be one of the vampire hunters, like his little brother. You might want to be Corey Haim or Corey the other Corey.
Feldman. The
That's
Coreys.
terrible. Yeah, you might have wanted to be one of the Coreys. Or you might have wanted to be Michael, or you might have wanted to be one of the evil vampire. Like, you could have wanted to be any of the characters in this movie, man. They were all so cool.
The way I had it listed on here, I looked it up for a description of the movie, right? I had a general idea of what it was, but it says The Lost Boys, a cult classic vampire film released in 1987, directed by Joel Schumacher, set in the fictional coastal town of Santa Carla, California. The movie follows two brothers, Michael and Sam, played by Jason Patrick and Corey Haim. I don't know whatever happened to Jason Patrick. He kind of fell off the place there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Who moved to the town with their mother Lucy, portrayed by Diane Weist. Weist or Weist?
You know what? That you got me on that one. I usually know. I don't know if that's West or West.
We'll go with Diane Weist. As Michael becomes enamored with a mysterious girl named Star, played by Jamie Gertz, he falls in with a group of charismatic and rebellious teenagers led by David, portrayed by Kiefer Sutherland. Unbeknownst to Michael, David and his gang were actually vampires, alluring him into their fold and initiating him into their bloodthirsty lifestyle. And of course, Corey Haim makes friends with somebody else, and they're actually vampire hunters in the area.
Yeah, his grandpa, Bernard Hughes.
Was it his grandpa? Okay. They hadn't seen it, didn't know it, but now I want to watch it more. Tonight when I'm done, I might look for it and try to watch it tonight.
Dude, you so should. Like, you won't be sorry. There's no way. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that the nerdy friend from the Goonies, the nerdy girl with the glasses, I'm pretty sure
Martha Plimpton.
I'm pretty sure
she's
she's
her
in
name.
it. I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name, but I'm pretty sure she's in it.
I think she might be. I think it's her name. I'm sure I won't be disappointed. It's one that I do want to watch. It's been on my list for a minute. I just get so busy sometimes and tied up with stuff I just forget all about it. If we weren't doing it for a podcast episode, then I'll be like, I don't know what in the world.
Oh, if you watch it, you're gonna want to do a podcast episode for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. And I've heard a podcast episode on one of our ones we like to listen to occasionally. They did a good one.
This should be in our
couple
library.
Years ago.
Like, we can't call ourselves an 80s movie review podcast without having this in our library anyway.
Sure, we can. We just haven't got to it yet. We just haven't got to it yet. That's all.
And we also have to have number 6 in there.
Number 6. Okay. By the way you're talking, number 6 reminds me of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It might be.
Is he?
It is set in a dystopian America.
Oh, that's just like, hey, dystopian's a popular thing because RoboCop was dystopian as well. It said
it was, and there was.
Do you think they're the same dystopian America, just different parts?
Yeah, they could be. It could be a television show that they didn't see.
Listen. Would this not be some cool stuff? All right, the movie's The Running Man he's talking about.
Yeah,
Number 6 on this list of most popular movies in 1987. Wouldn't it be cool if The Running Man and RoboCop were of the same timeline, dystopian America?
that would be
If they
that'd be
could,
so cool.
I don't know if you could tie those together. There is a thing out there that
I'm gonna
shows
do
where
it.
Back to the Future and the Goonies are of the same timeline,
Ooh,
based on the same year, same month, and everything else. They've tied them together that way by little tidbits in the movies. I thought that was some cool information. What about The Running Man and RoboCop though?
I'm gonna
It's
do it. I think I can do it.
probably not, because the years they were in the movies would be completely different. But how cool would it be
That would be awesome.
if you were in the world of Running Man? Would you like to participate as one of the running men?
No,
Would you go up
absolutely.
against the likes of, the people they had there, Fireball and
Fireball, was it Buzzsaw,
it was
Captain Freedom,
I think it was Buzzsaw, wasn't it?
Buzzsaw. Yeah,
Who was the
Dynamo. Wasn't it
Dynamo,
Dynamo, the fat dude that
the
had the
opera
lights
guy?
in his opera?
I was about to ask you if that was him or what his name was. Yeah, Dynamo.
Yeah, Dynamo,
I mean,
Sub Zero, and friggin' who'd we say? Captain Freedom. That's all of
yeah,
them. Fireball, Captain Freedom, Dynamo, Buzzsaw, and Sub Zero is the only ones I remember.
yeah. People were. You were saying a while ago we were probably like that one movie described the way our country was going. Uh, the entire world is probably not far off from being something like The Running Man, where you'll see in the future game shows such as these, or your little towns
That
having.
would be crazy for sure. We'd be on the verge of being in the purge if we did that.
That was my next thing. Towns having purges or something, making purges
Yeah,
illegal.
no doubt.
Hopefully, we don't reach that type of deal, but the world is a nut. It's just like a giant nut house, and we're just a few of the patients.
Well, Christopher, I wonder if we have any friends of the show that want to weigh in between the 6 and the 1.
You know what? I don't know if they want to, but I'm going to ask them to.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a second and
And tell them to get to
listen
the chopper.
listen to one of our friends tell us about their show, and then when they're done, yes, they can get to the chopper, even though it's a different movie altogether. So everybody sit back and take a listen to this. We'll be right back.
Come with me if you want to live.
All right, and that is 80s Flicks Flashback with Mr. Tim. Everybody likes Tim. Tim's a great guy. I told Tim we're gonna get him on this show with all three of us doing something here soon. I don't know what it's gonna be. We gotta get all three of us
I'm
on here
with
though
it.
one night.
Heck yeah.
The thing is finding him on a Sunday where he's recorded early and can be here later.
Yeah.
Because Mondays you're at work, and that's the usual night I get him on here with me is
Yeah.
Mondays.
I'm at work. I do that. You know
Work
what's funny? The
stroke.
next movie is I was yelling at work this weekend. I got a new grinder in at work.
Uh-huh.
Not the equipment, it's his position. And we have a new area set up, and I was like, boy, we gotta get you out from behind there. And I started yelling through the shop, and go, nobody puts baby in the corner.
Did he walk out of the corner dirty dancing for you?
Yeah, he might have had a little hip twist.
Little hip twist. Did you like Dirty Dancing when it came out?
Absolutely not.
My sister wore that movie out at my dad's house when we go
Same,
visit him on the weekends. She wore that movie out, and it got to the point to where I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me after a while, and
right?
I started to like it. Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you of these 10 movies we're going over that I'm going to go to my library or go online and look and pull Dirty Dancing out and want to watch it over anything else that's in here.
Oh yeah,
But if
Dirty
it's
Dancing for me does not even deserve to be in this top 10, dude.
not with everything else that's out there, no, I can't see. But where see the thing is, like I told my other friend earlier, it's just not people who are the action fans or the sci-fi fans or the comedy fans or the horror fans. This is a little bit of everybody in here. And Dirty Dancing had a little bit of everything for a lot of people.
Yeah, but
It's got a little.
I take Overboard over Dirty Dancing.
There was a lot of movies I saw earlier I
You
would
know,
have taken
bump
over
Good
Dirty
Morning
Dancing.
Vietnam for Dirty Dancing.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah,
Come
the
on.
The Witches of Eastwick,
Adventures in Babysitting.
The Monster Squad,
There's a
Wolfman's
ton of
got
them.
balls,
Nards.
Nards, Wolfman's got
Nards.
Nards. He
There's
can make
so many over
Nards.
Dirty
He
Dancing.
don't
But
got
look,
no Nards.
Dirty Dancing had its fan base.
Yeah.
We haven't done this with the others, but it had like a 65 Metascore on it. I'm not sure what Metascore is, determined by, but a
Well,
60.
it felt like it was in that vein too of kind of uh Footloose. You know what I mean? Like her daddy didn't want her being all nasty and stuff, and then Penny got pregnant over the summer, and you know what I mean. And I think Patrick Swayze was probably born looking like he was 37.
It was based in that era too, whenever those kind of morals and everything were still in place.
Right.
Unlike today's age where it's different completely. So
Yeah. And like I said, like, because I remember watching The Outsiders when everybody was super young in The Outsiders, and Patrick
Patrick
Swayze
Swayze looked
still looked
the
like he
same.
was in his 30s. You know what I mean? It's
Some
like Patrick
people,
Swayze, he was probably he looked 37 at 12. I
I think
guarantee it.
some people just have been blessed with the look of youth. I mean,
Yeah.
between him and Ralph Macchio. Ralph
Well, Ralph's
Macchio right
looking
now is
older.
just say,
Ralph's looking
listen,
older now.
listen, Ralph Macchio right now still looks pretty young for his age, right? He's
Yeah,
the
for sure.
same age that Mr. Miyagi was supposed to be in the Karate Kid movie when it came out. How much older did he
Dang,
look versus Ralph Macchio right now?
that's crazy. Yeah, for real. Pat Morita. I'm just happy that they made Johnny not be the bad guy no more. I used to love those YouTube videos where they were showing how Daniel was the butthole.
But Johnny really was the bully. He was the bad guy. Let's
Was he
face it.
though? Was he
Let's face
though?
I say he was. I say he was.
I don't think he was.
That's a debate for another
I think
podcast,
Daniel
though.
was a narcissist.
That's a debate for another podcast, see, because we'd have to really dig into that.
Yeah.
And we haven't
Where
we
was
haven't done
Daniel
Karate
from
Kid
originally?
yet, so he was
Let me
from New
ask this one
Jersey.
question though. Where was Daniel from?
He was from Jersey.
From Jersey. Oh, well, I was gonna be like, the only thing that come out of there was stairs and queers. Do you private? Are you a Peter Puffer?
No, now you're going to an officer and a gentleman.
No.
Did they say that in full?
And a
Did
gentleman.
they say that in Full Metal Jacket too?
That was where it come from.
Dude, hold up. All right, just before we go to it, just to go ahead and finish this out. Dirty Dancing number 5 in the top 10 list that we were looking at. So we're now currently going from 5 to 1, and that was number 5, starting to go from there. Number 4, which he's definitely directed you toward, is Full Metal Jacket. I just watched An Officer and a Gentleman just last week or the week before when I did was doing the Lou Gossett Jr. episode.
It had Arlie Ermy in it.
No, no, but that's
Did they
what
say that?
that is what Lou Gossett Jr. said basically to we're talking about the things that come from Texas.
Oh, I don't remember.
He was doing it to
that.
one of the guys in the line before he got to Richard Gere's character, Mayo, and he started calling him mayonnaise and stuff like that. But
Mayonnaise.
now I'm not saying they didn't use that same saying again in Full Metal Jacket because they may have. I mean, he was saying all kinds of things to these people. I just don't remember all of them. It's been such a long. I remember let me see your war face, or let me
Yeah.
hear your war scream and
Let
stuff
me
like
see your
that,
board
and
screen.
talking about asking did he like did he want to go out with his sister or something like that? Did you
Well,
private
see,
joker and private pile?
right. See, I remember in Full Metal Jacket. That's one of the ones I remember. I remember all the early Arlie Ermey's clips from that movie, dude. You're the kind of man that, yeah, you can't even say it on our podcast. Wouldn't even
No.
have common courtesy to get a man to read. Like, God Almighty, dude.
I know.
I
I
remember
know.
when I was young. I remember when this movie first came out, though, and my dad. So my dad, being a Green Beret man, he used to love stuff like this, and this movie was. I mean, it gets. I think it's gotten lost over the years at how real this movie was. Like, I mean, it was like the mental stuff that they went through, you
Yeah.
know, and the
Right.
way that Basic was, and the way Arlie Ermy was a real like that's how he got the role in this movie. They got him. They hired him on as a consultant, and he's like, "Well, that's not the way you do it. Well, how you?" And we're like, "Well, just do what you would do then." And then he became a star from just doing what he would do.
Right.
And but anyway, so my dad had this movie. It had just came out, so I guess I might have been 8, 9 years old. And I will never forget, dude, that first scene. So where you walk in there, where the guy's in the toilet, and he commits suicide. The way he's looking and smiling, dude, that scared the crap out of me when I was like, I thought Dad was watching a scary movie, dude. The way that they shot that was like crazy to me to think about, because the movie didn't have that kind of feel at all, you know. But then that one scene, it just went from a kind of a, I guess if you were in it, not lighthearted, but it just went from this one vibe over to this just completely unsettling moment.
And one that played Private Pile in there, that's the Baldwin who's not one of the Baldwin brothers, right?
Yeah, Adam.
Is it Adam Baldwin? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the Baldwins, and Matthew Modine was in it. He played Private Joker.
Yep. And Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yep.
Actually, Vincent D'Onofrio was the one that shot himself. I think Private Pile.
No, okay, hold on. Was Vincent Private Pile, was that Baldwin or D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio was Pile.
Okay, I got them backwards in.
Yeah, Baldwin was Animal Mother.
Okay.
And then you had 8 Ball and Cowboy and
well, it's been a minute since I've seen it. I'm glad you remember all the names. I can't remember all looking them up.
I've seen this movie 100 million times. This is the movie where hey GI, me love you long time. You know what I mean? Like that's what this came. Well, I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan too.
Look, so, of all the movies that were like Vietnam War related, would this be your favorite movie of all of them, you think, or do you have a different one?
For Vietnam movies?
Right.
Ooh, I don't know, man, because Apocalypse Now was sick. Like Apocalypse Now is really good too. I don't remember. I can't recall if Hamburger Hill,
Siege of Firebase Gloria. I think both those were Vietnam related.
Yeah, I can say Hamburger Hill. Hamburger Hill's my dad's favorite. He said that's the realest one he's seen. But there was another one too called Tigerland that I love, and I think it was set during the Vietnam conflict, but it wasn't in Vietnam. It's got Colin Farrell in it, and what he's doing is he's a screw up, but he basically takes people when he decides that they're not mentally fit to go over. He figures out how to get them discharged, and it's an amazing movie. Okay. It's called Tigerland.
All right. Well, I keep an eye out for some of those movies, everybody, and tell us, if you get a chance, actually go to social media at Retro Life for You at Instagram, or if you want to email us at retrolife4you@gmail.com. Let us know what your favorite movie was based on the Vietnam Wars. Yeah, quite a few of them out there. It's a good topic, like a discussion topic. There's so many of them out there. And if you want to just get, if you want to throw in some different things, like I know Missing in Action, that was still technically Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Rainbow First Blood.
There's another movie on this list that would have been the Vietnam Times. There's another movie.
But no, that cannot be it.
It's also got Jesse the Body in it.
But you're jumping ahead. You're skipping one.
Let me stop. Let me go back. Let me go back.
You got to go back, and you got to go back a little bit. I know. Listen, everybody. Travis loves some Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, he gets super excited when he sees some Arnold, and his ADHD kicks in, and everything else, and he gets all nuts and everything.
Arnold's been my dude since I can remember, since the first time I saw Conan.
But he completely passed over Dr. McDreamy or McSteamy or
with anchovies.
McDummy or whatever he was.
Always playing some kind of man whore in a movie, ain't he? Remember he was the gigolo in what was that one movie where he ordered a pizza with anchovies? That was a funny movie though.
Was that the okay, so you got this one's Can't Buy Me Love, the number 3 on the top of the 10 most popular of the year that we were going through right now. The other one you're talking about, Loverboy?
Loverboy.
Yeah. Can't Buy Me Love. We just did this recently in a podcast. Myself and Cindy did when she came on. So it's one of her favorite movies. Yeah, when she was a teenager.
Yeah. Okay. So you know
actually, It was a good movie. I liked it.
You know what?
What?
I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
Can't Buy Me Love?
I don't think I've ever watched it.
So he plays a character named Ronald, right? And he's trying to get popularity in high school. It's a movie based on how you start out young, you're friends with everybody, and over the
Yeah, it's one
years
of the
you all
ones
tend
where
to
he
go
played the girl
apart.
to be his girlfriend, to act like his girlfriend, but then they ended
Right.
up hooking up anyway.
Right. It's like he gives her $1,000 to be his girlfriend for a month to buy him popularity, basically.
Now, was this John
And
Hughes?
no, this is not John Hughes.
Okay, but it's like
I
John Hughes.
s-
If you like
I
John
said
Hughes, you like
the
this one.
I said the exact same thing because she's a John Hughes fan. Cindy was. I was thinking we were doing another John
Well,
Hughes
this
movie.
feels like it's in the vein of John Hughes too. You know.
It in a way, in a sense, it does, but it's not made by him though.
Oh, you know what? You know what? There's another movie like this. There's another movie like this, and they actually reference this movie in it. It's got one of my favorite female actors.
What's
Since I'm
that?
kind of in love with her,
What's that?
Easy A. Remember Easy A?
Easy A did make a reference to this because I was talking about it and when I was doing the little trivia stuff about the movie.
Yeah.
She did that towards it. Emma Stone was that her name?
Yep. Yep. Emma Stone.
There's a little
Remember she
nod
was
about
wearing the
her.
scarlet letter. She got so mad she put the scarlet letter on her outfit. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. And she gave a little. That actually, she gave a nod to a couple different movies, not just this one only, but a
Yeah.
couple others as well, which was kind of cool. So, if you like the kind of movie, the teenager John Hughes kind of feel, even though it's not a John Hughes movie, he's trying to, like I said, buy his popularity. He does. He succeeds with it until she accidentally lets the cat out of the bag that he paid her and stuff, and then everybody kind of flips back on him again. But I mean, it has a nice feel to the movie if you sit back and watch it. I think you'd like it.
Heck
Jumping
yeah.
ahead now to number 2 on the list. So Travis can get back in character here again.
You're one ugly mother.
This is where he wants to get to the chopper, I believe.
Yeah. Get to the chopper.
So Predator, and to me, this should have been number 1, not number 2.
110,000%.
This is my
Greatest
number
movie
1.
of 1987.
Yeah, my number 1 movie, 1987 for sure. And I don't know in how many different variations of a top 10 list from that year, whether it's by money made, popularity, uh, whatever. How many different times it's number 1 all the way around for me.
Yeah, it's gotta be, man.
It had such a great cast in it of people put together at the time
Oh,
that you
for
wanted to
sure.
see, like as a group of commandos. Jesse the Body Ventura, you got Bill Duke,
Mm-hmm.
you got Carl Weathers in there, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got
I
Sonny
don't know.
Landham.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't know what all Sonny Landham was doing, but Billy was a BA in that movie too, man.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And guess who else I had in it? It had Sven Thornson.
Yes, which is in a lot of Arnold movies.
Well, we talked about it. Sven is to Arnold what Rob Schneider is to Adam.
That's true. It's true.
It's like every
And
movie he makes. Matter of fact, the Running Man. Remember the Running Man? He was like the security guy that walked away at the end too.
who?
Sven. He was like the
Who?
security guy.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Too many steroids.
That's a good
Hey,
one.
there would have been another
Only anabolic.
big
We don't
name.
do any chemicals.
there would have been another big name in this movie if it had stayed true when it started, playing the Predator.
Oh yeah, he was too short.
Well, he
The,
also
the
got
king of the splits.
too hot in the suit, and he complained about it all the time, and he couldn't.
Yep.
There was
And
no.
didn't
They
he?
didn't want
Didn't
him
blood?
fighting like he would, even though he was.
Well, didn't Bloodsport come up at the same time too? And Bloodsport's what convinced he went ahead and walked away from it.
Bloodsport was 88, I believe. It was
Oh,
after
okay.
this. So Bloodsport, he
So
just happened to
maybe it
be.
was the filming. The filming had come up or something.
All I know is for Bloodsport, he said he was walking down the street and he saw somebody that was responsible to end up putting the movie out ultimately,
Oh.
and he demonstrated to them on the street how he could kick and all
What
this
and how
other
about
stuff, and
Kickboxer?
kind of look at some other stuff.
Was
So
Kickboxer before Bloodsport?
no, Kickboxer was after Bloodsport.
Bloodsport was his first movie, wasn't it?
Bloodsport was his first starring role. He was
Well, yeah.
also
I mean,
before
we all know
that.
he was dancing on the beach.
Well, before that, he was in No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy, played this bad Russian kickboxer.
Oh, that's right. He had the slick back black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but Predator, like I said, number one in my book all day long. Number one, and we are, I wish I had an actual drum roll sound effect, which I don't. But number one, this is a movie that me and Travis here both like a lot, actually. And I'm going to call it my number two of the year.
Absolutely love this movie. You know what my favorite part of this movie is? Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
And this is one of those movies that Travis could not believe, fussed at me for the longest time. I have not seen it till just 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago. I seen it
And
3 years ago for
loved
the
it.
first time. Princess Bride along with Willow. I'll never forget
Yeah.
watching them because my first time watching them, and I was preparing this house we had for sale, and I was watching them in my room while I was painting. And I was like, how have I not ever seen this movie? I was like, that's where that saying come from. I've always wondered where I am Inigo Montoya, who killed my father, prepare to die, where it came from. People would say it like it was going like, what's that from? You don't know what that's from? Like, no, well, you don't know what it's from. I'm not going to tell you. Obviously, ain't missing nothing. But I was missing a lot, as it turns out.
Absolutely.
I was just showing this to Travis before the show. I just bought the 35th anniversary of the Princess Bride. It's a hardback book. You can get it at Books A Million. $37 is what it costs.
And it's
But
super cool. It's got some great artwork in it.
yeah, it's great. It's got some nice artwork in it. It's got a little prelude to it talking about the 25th and 35th anniversaries of it.
So you got a couple years on me, and if you never saw The Princess Bride, then someone listening to this may have not ever seen it. As much as it plays on Comedy Central, y'all, if you have not seen The Princess Bride, you got to watch this movie.
It's definitely well worth the watch.
Oh
And
my gosh, everybody in it is hilarious too. Wallace Shawn playing
it's
Vicini,
inconceivable.
inconceivable,
I don't
inconceivable.
think this means what you believe it to mean. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Definitely
Everybody
great.
was great in it.
And if you read about what everybody says about Andre the Giant, Carrie Elwes,
Gary Eels.
it's
Or is
Elwes.
it Elvis? Does he say it? Does he call it Elvis?
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked it up. I was sure of it. I looked it up.
Okay.
Carrie Elwes.
Carrie Elvis.
Then you got the Mandy Patinkin and all the people from the movie. They'd give you stories about him, and it would be like freezing cold, all of them out there, and he would be wearing nothing but like a little blanket over his shoulders, and to him it looks like a towel because
Yeah.
it's a small blanket. And he would reach over to the girl who plays the Princess Bride, and he'd sit next to her and try to help keep her warm and everything while out there. But they said he was just nuts. He was great to be around, and
One of my favorite stories, actually, Arnold tells. He said they were out to dinner, and Arnold was like, "Look, I'm going to pay," and Andre was like, "No, I pay." And said they kept arguing about it. And said that he said Arnold picked him up under the daggum, like under his
no,
arms, like a 3-year-old.
Andre
Or
Andre picked up
I'm sorry,
Arnold.
Andre picked Arnold up under his arms like a 3-year-old and like set him on top of like a big shift robe and was like started laughing and said, "I pay." And he's like, and I couldn't get down. He's like, he just picked him up like a 3-year-old.
And then that's one of the things about him. I mean, they said he was a really good guy, really nice guy, easy to get along with. Now, he liked to play his jokes too. Said
Right.
he drink anybody into the table that tried.
Oh
You,
God,
you
yeah.
couldn't you couldn't keep up with him.
Uh-uh.
I've
I like
heard some freakier tales about him too. Not
right.
meant for the show, but I mean, he's got some all kind of crazy stuff out there
Oh, I'm
about him.
sure. I like that Carrie Ellis, he was Robin Hood too. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, he's like, because unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak. I can say I'm stuck in Arnold. It's like I can speak with a British accent. But we went. I will remember when we went to go see Saw when it came out in the theaters, and like I instantly recognized him. He had gained weight and gotten older. I was like, "Oh, dude!" I was happy to see him have that little resurgence.
Carrie Ellis.
Yeah. Which I mean, he stayed steady working, but
Oh,
to
he
have
did. He had a
something
lot of
big
movies he
for
was
him.
in.
Oh yeah. But to have something big for him too, though. Well, he was the major in Stranger Things for a while too. When they
Was
first
he?
went into the, yeah, when they actually made it to the base or whatever.
See, I've only went to the first season of Stranger Things.
Oh, I still got to watch the last season. Yeah, in the second season, it may be the beginning. It may be close to the end of the first, but when they actually make it into the base, not the major, he's
Oh, the mayor. Okay,
the mayor of the town.
I got you. That's definitely a different thing.
Definitely.
So I think
Emoji.
what we'll do to go ahead and top this off. That was our top 10 from the list we were looking at. What I want to do here is go in and pull up the top 10 money grossing. So I'm gonna go to box office. What's this called here? Box Office Mojo.
Mojo. Oh,
That you Is that what
Mojo.
you were talking about earlier?
I went to the numbers. It's called the numbers. Was the one that I was actually on.
Well, let's see here. All right, oh, the numbers. There we go. Top grossing movies in 1987. So to compare the top grossing to the top 10 favorites, okay?
Hmm.
At number 10 is Predator, as far as
Right.
grossing goes. Number 9 is The Witches of Eastwick. Number
Yeah.
8 is Lethal Weapon.
The Witches of Eastwick was cool though.
For some people, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Really?
Not really. I really
That
wasn't,
is the one I'm
honestly.
thinking about, isn't it? It had
Sarah,
uh
Bette
dang,
Midler.
here's Johnny.
I know it's got
Wow.
Bette Midler in it. Jack Nicholson's in there. Yeah,
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Cher and yeah, and they're all like gonna be his wives or something. I thought, yeah, it was cool. I watched it not long ago, I think.
So we got Lethal Weapon at 8, Stakeout at 7, The Secret of My Success was number 6, The Untouchables was number 5, Three Men and a Baby number 4, Platoon number 3, Fatal Attraction 2, and Beverly Hills Cop 2 was the number one grossing film of the year.
Fatal Attraction. That's terrible. Oh, Glenn Close up there getting naked on the big screen. Man alive. La Bamba did better than I thought it did.
Yeah, definitely number 13.
That
Of
was a
all
good one.
the top 10 movies, is there of the grossing movies of 87, is there one that stands out after the fact, past top 10, that you can't believe was not in the top 10?
After top 10,
Yeah.
uh, maybe RoboCop got bumped down. I would have thought that would have been higher up. The Running Man's no surprise. We know that is actually one of Arnold's least popular movies that he's done.
Mhm.
Um, Everybody makes fun of it, but I know a lot of people that seen Throw Mama from the Train thought it was hilarious. Maybe Star Trek, because Star Trek movies did so great all the time. You had Star Trek. What was it? 4, The Voyage Home.
Yeah, that was the least of what the least of the ones they had that was not that good, really. At
Yeah.
that point, I think they were almost reaching, and then they went out and came out with 5, The Undiscovered Country. I don't know if it was any better, if I can say it was any better than the fourth one was.
Then you got John Cena's Uncle Goes to Camp.
Ernest?
Ernest P. Worrell.
Ernest P. Worrell? They do kind of resemble these days, don't they?
Dude, John Cena looks so much like Ernest P. Worrell, it ain't even funny. Hey, Hamburger Hill was made the same year, dude.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. You get the
I didn't
same
even know
movies a
that.
lot about the same year in comparison to each other.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
um,
Oh,
yeah, I
I was
mean,
about to say they ain't no way, but I was okay. Never mind. I was about to say the Disney Cinderella, but this was actually a musical that came out, so that makes sense.
as far as the Lost Boys and the Princess Bride, both that was on most popular, neither one of them was in top grossing. I mean, Princess Bride was the 36 and Lost Boys 34. those kind of surprised me a little bit to be so popular, but not make that much money when it came out.
Well, they're popular
So,
after the fact, though.
well,
So
that's what I'm
Lost Boys is
saying.
kind of
That's what I was
yeah,
saying earlier. It has to be based on stuff on top of sales. It has to be stuff like VHS rentals or maybe VHS sales when it hit the stores when they was released to the public to buy, and all kinds of things
yeah,
like that had to really bring those lists together.
right. It blows my mind. I'll tell you the biggest one that blows my mind, just honestly, because of how big it was during my teen years, or my tween years, I guess, was Good Morning Vietnam. Kind of blows my mind that it wasn't bigger than what it was.
Yeah, well,
Because I mean
definitely,
that was huge.
definitely a great movie. It's kind of in between. It's not one of those big grossing movies, and it wasn't the most popular.
Yeah,
It was just a great movie all around.
yeah, for sure.
So, well, we're at that point now. Looks like Travis, we're going to go and start wrapping up. We're 56 minutes into the hour,
Hey,
so
hey,
it's been fun. I mean, it's not obviously we found out the lists are going to vary and even varying within the same company depending on what day you pull it up. So, sorry for the confusion early on, but the IMDb as of 2 weeks ago was a completely different list than what it was today. So, I guess take it for what it's worth. It was fun to talk about and discuss some popular movies from that time frame, and hopefully you guys like that. If you have a top 10 list of your own you want to share with us, yeah, like I said earlier, send it to us an email. Catch us on social media, Facebook or on Instagram, Retro Life for You, and let us know what your favorite ones were for the year. Um, if you're a first time listener to us, we appreciate it. Make sure you follow us and share us with a friend, family member, someone of the sort. And as always, you can find us iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere you're going to find us uh, with all your other favorite podcasts you listen to. Travis,
heck yeah.
what you got for us this week, man? You got anything for us this week at all, or
Oh yeah, man, I got a piece of history, man.
a
You
piece?
know,
Now, you know what? I'm a history buff sometimes.
oh
So if
cool.
you
You know
got a
what?
good piece of history for me, lay it out there.
Yeah, man, I got the biggest thing, the biggest consensus for college students in 1987. It's exactly what Jesus said 1,987 years ago.
What's that?
That's, that's a shitty way to spend Easter vacation.